Hi, it's Jennifer Hollick with the World War II Research and Writing Center and Finding the Answers Journey. I am in Vogelsang in Germany in the Eifel, sitting in the Thing, which is kind of like an amphitheater outdoor overlooking the river and the lake here in the sports complex. And we've toured the documentation museum, and they have an exhibit on the master race. And we've explored outside, looked at some of the monuments, some of the buildings, and it's left me with quite a lot of questions. Now, when you look on the website for this place, which was a training center during the 1930s and early 1940s, one of the things that they strive to get people to do is question. And on their website, they ask questions like, what was the attraction to this place during the National Socialistic period? What did party leadership promise young men regarding their future? What motivated their hopes and desires for social advancement? Were they, through drill information, predestined to participate in crimes? Or would they have had the option to say no? And did they see themselves as members of a supposed master race, and did they act on this? Now, as we went through the exhibit, and I bought the book for the exhibit so that I can really read the history because it was in German, and we were given a little computer so that we could look at the different exhibit areas in English. And there was a lot of history there and a lot of information, some personal stories, but I don't think enough personal stories, because from what I read, and maybe I'll find this in the history because I also bought the history of this facility, that book, I want to know what some of these men and women who trained here thought. You know, did they come here because the economic situation was so bad? Did they come here because they didn't see any other better option? Were they promised a better future? Were they promised a high rank in the military? Were they promised fame and glory? You know, what were they promised, and what were some of their individual stories that drove them to choose this? Because everything's a choice, and they might have had this choice versus joining the army or some other choice, but it's all a choice. So what drove them to choose this? Some of the men who trained here went on to serve as soldiers, some didn't. Some went on to commit horrific crimes against the Jews and other populations. And it really just leaves you with a lot of questions. And I know many of us tend to overlook the dark, secret, shameful, guilt, negative, any word you want to associate with that, parts of our family history. But I think we need to start bringing these things into the light and questioning what happened, look at the history of where our families came from and why they chose the things that they did, and stop carrying around all of this guilt and shame for things that our ancestors did, because it isn't ours. We carry it, but it's not ours, and we can let it go. So my invitation to you today is to start looking at those dark parts of your family history and seeing what you can bring to the light and how you can heal some of that and let it go, which will not only heal you, but will also heal the past, present, and future. If you're interested in learning more about how to research your family history or the military history that goes with that, please give us an email at info@wwirwc.com or check us out at the World War II Research and Writing Center to learn more about the services we offer and how we can help you tell your story and heal the past.